Man, leopard don't change his spots. And Diddy been doing this for a real long time, bro. He been doing this for a long time. And now another artist, this artist didn't wait 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He didn't wait 20 years. You understand? He waited a year or two after he stopped working with him and saw he didn't get what he was supposed to get. And he said, yo, listen here, man. I'm putting in my claims right now because I'm going to show everybody what really happened, what really went down. It's crazy. When I was reading it, I read the whole thing. Shout out to Keisha in Kansas City. She sent me the whole documentation, bro. And what I mean sound familiar, how he would get other girls and get girls to try to, convince this guy, or put him in a sexual situation with other girls so he could do whatever he wanted to do with them. And it's just like the situation somewhat with Sarah and her girlfriend and him and Ja. You know what I'm saying? Bringing girls on to try to convince this other guy to be in a room with another naked man and all this other bullshit. Yo, it all sound familiar, man. I read the whole thing, man, and it was crazy.
And for the people that don't know what you're talking about, because the lawsuit is new, so, some people still catching up with it. Little Rod, he alleges that, Young Miami cousin tried to have sex with him in front of Diddy.
Yeah, he went into the bathroom, and then she came into the bathroom and tried to, throw herself on him. He didn't want to have nothing to do with her for whatever reason. And then when he came out the bathroom, she continued to try to do that and try to have sex wanted him to have sex in front of Diddy and the rest of the people that was in there. That's how they do, man. They try to use a girl that you might like or you may think you might like, or they think you might like her or whatever, to convince you to lay down your guards with them.
So, did they do it or not? Rodney Jones, Diddy's former employee, has filed a federal lawsuit against him, putting Diddy in legal trouble once again.
P. Diddy, accused of sexual assault by producer Lil Rod. Put up the picture for him as. This is a gripping story. Producer Lil Rod, whose given name is Rodney Jones, has now accused Sean Diddy Combs of operating a racketeering enterprise, groping him, forcing him to engage in sexual acts with sex workers, and lacing alcohol for the guests in his home, including underage girls.
He trying to put him in some kind of situation like that. They do that all the time in the industry. I want to get into this real quick, man, before we really even get started into this. And it's because something I seen today. This girl, Tiffany Red, she said that she was filing a claim against Diddy, but it touched me crazy, man, because the hurt that I seen in her voice, in her she crying, man, and she worrying about what this dude could do to her and what he has done to her. Man, listen here. I want to let this young lady know, and I know this is not the place for it, brother, but please allow me to say this to her, man. You know what I'm saying? I started this battle long time ago. And the situation is that, bruh, we already won. This was some spiritual that Pop, the spirit of Pop, the spirit of Big, the spirit of Miss Jones, all the people that he has done wrong, so Black, all the people that he has done wrong, bruh, is coming to light.
Recently, Jones has come forward, breaking barriers and exposing the most sinister facts about well-known figures in Hollywood, starting with Diddy, who he claims is at the center of the problem.
Taking this album on has required so much time, months and at a time, 16 hours, 24 hours a day. Sometimes, Diddy will request certain works to be done and tell us don't go to sleep until it's done. And the truth is, we'll be up for days trying to accomplish that. I've tried to get my business straight with them on this album, but the truth is they're not playing fair. They hit me on below the belt on so many situations, just dealing with this. The contract that they give me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting. The producer fee, pennies, and on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. He's a fighter, but I'm gonna put in this fight. I gotta do it for myself, my rights, and most importantly, my kids. Taking my publishing or stealing it, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Here's everything you need to know. Gene Deal isn't the only one standing by Diddy's victims. Rodney Jones is also raising his voice against the bad boy mogul and his alleged illicit actions.
We already won this spiritual. What we going through right now with these trials and everybody, with this financial situation and everything like that, all that is superficial. That's the physical part of it. The spiritual part of it was won because Big, Pac, all the people that he did wrong, bruh. You understand? They already won the battle where we were supposed to win it at. So now we just going through the physical part of it, man. And I want that girl to know, man, that she ain't gotta fear no man. She ain't gotta fear him, nobody else, man.
According to the lawsuit, which claims that Jones lived and traveled with Diddy from September 2022 to November 2023, their time together is portrayed in a disturbing way. Jones, who appears to have been emotionally traumatized by Diddy and other Hollywood elites, states that during his time in the industry, he collected hours of compromising audio and video footage showing Combs and others allegedly involved in various illicit behaviors.
Doing this situation is not easy. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him in court. So I'm just asking, if you're in support, please, the link is in my bio to my GoFundMe. The money will go towards my attorney fees and to just make sure I'm keeping my head above water during the process. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Jones has also accused Diddy of several horrific acts, including drugging, harassing, and threatening him for over a year. According to Jones, Diddy would also touch him inappropriately and walk around naked in front of him.
Do I think, yeah. Every man possibly is capable. I think he's very capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, what makes him. Power, that's just the selfishness that make you be like that. But with everything that's going on, man, you're looking at, they dropping them left and right. Companies are parting ways with him. All of that's happening right now because he's tarnishing his own image. What I think is just what I call is a character assassination that's going on right now.
And of course, there's Cassie's lawsuit as well, which claims a similar level of violence and more.
Because I interviewed Gene Deal, and he wasn't around Bad Boy when Cassie was around, but he told me that, he did the same thing to Kim Porter.
Or you could take it before then, and then you can remember when Misa was dating, Eric Sermon from EPMD? And that was her childhood boyfriend, coming up. They was the, lovey-dovey couple. And it was back then. He used to, do that with Misa. So, one thing I always say is, as a man, and as anyone in a relationship, we often go through these kind of things. So I've seen it in friends. I've seen it in him. I've seen fights. I've seen all kinds. I've seen fights where he have an argument, fight with a female, whatever it may be. I've seen it with my own friends. But sometimes you say, we all go through things, but once you have a sign of doing it over and over and over again, that's when it becomes a problem. You be like, so every relationship that you get in, you're violent in them? I was around when Cassie was there. I knew Kim Porter before I knew Puff. I met Misa, but it was a history. When you have a history of the same thing, man, it becomes a problem. Something you do once or twice, you get over. First, you're not supposed to put your hands on a woman's way I was raised. And the only person that really put their hands on women really is men who have feminine traits. So, you know, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, you know, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, there's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. Insecurities. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity. So when you see someone doing that, you can imagine everything else they do. What do you think he's gonna do if he found her on the phone talking to someone and or feels that she's cheating on him or somebody sleeping with his girl? What you think he's gonna say? Ooh, I caught you. Ooh, I heard this. Nah, he gonna come in with the, you know, it's gonna be a fight. It's been going on like that with them for years. So usually when you notice Puff was in those kind of violent relationships with his females, this been going on ever since 2-3 years. This ain't just something that just happened. This ain't the first fight. It ain't the last fight. You know? Yeah, I noticed all. I seen a lot. I seen him walk in with scratches and bruises on his face. And you be like, who scratched you up, dog? Who's scratching you? What, you had a fight with a cat? What's going on? You know? So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from.
How you feel about the two victims that came forward accusing Diddy and Aaron Hall of raping her? When you hear stuff like that, you're not surprised, huh?
Not at all. Not at all. I seen the, you know, I had to take a second to really reflect. And I wanted to, you know, did I see these kind of things in his actions when I knew him or when I was around him? Did I see him have those bursts of violence? Just not on, you'd be like, he did it. If you've seen that, it was another video. He won some, he just over cocky. That's why he got fired from Uptown. He's over, what do you call someone who's overly confident? To the point to where it's called arrogance, right? He's arrogant. Nothing wrong with being arrogant, but when you're arrogant and you do it in spiteful ways, then, so when I seen that and I reflect, and I'm like, man, I do remember seeing him be being physically violent towards females. I seen him be physically violent towards producers, other record execs, you know, even artists.
Not to forget, the lawsuit contains some very alarming allegations, including claims that Diddy forced Jones to hire prostitutes and engage in unwanted activities with them and others. Additionally, Jones and others in the industry alleged that Diddy served drinks to his guests at parties held at his homes, some of whom were reportedly prostitutes and underage girls. According to reports, the complaint also includes screenshots to support its claims. For those who don't know, Diddy has been sued multiple times over sexual misconduct. Most recently, Jones filed a lawsuit in federal court in New York, identifying himself as a record producer and former cameraman who worked for Diddy for over a year, from September 2022 to November 2023.
I apologize to anyone this video may be embarrassing to. Let's just jump right into it. Some of you may know me or may not. I'm a music producer who's a writer and musician. Different genres. I started in the gospel and jazz and R&B and worked my way over to the hip-hop side. I've been working on an album. I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be celebrating, but the truth is I'm not.
Jones also reportedly feels that Diddy was trying to groom him into engaging in sexual activities, even though the record producers seemed to downplay these efforts as mere horseplay.
But the fact that you did not speak out in the twisted mind of an abuser, you're in agreement with their behavior because that's the way they think. And even if you wasn't in agreement with the way they're thinking, well, with the way they get down, they don't fear you going to the authorities. They don't fear you going to anybody and sharing your pain or trying to get justice. Now, let's talk about dude. You got a grown man who is suing Diddy, a grown man suing another grown man for trying to force homosexual actions onto him. Now, this guy, by his own admission, said he lived with Puff in New York, in his homes in New York, Los Angeles, and Florida. At what point, as you're going through the airports or jumping on private flights and getting off, going into the malls, or when he leave to go out, at what point do you wink to a neighbor and say, or you blink, something ain't right? You know, at what point do you blink? I get it. You think he's dangerous. He's a dangerous man. But as a man, at what point do you blink? I believe that everybody should be held accountable for their actions. Everybody should be held accountable. Perhaps one accountability ain't the same as the other, because one accountability is more of a, let's say, an ethical thing or whatever. And then the other is a criminal thing. So you got one that deserves to go to jail, to be held accountable, or go to jail or be punished, you know, with some type of criminal penalty and perhaps a civil penalty. And then the other, just by way of a mild scolding, like, yo, you know, at what point do you speak up? Do you speak out?
Meanwhile, Jones has claimed that, as part of Diddy's grooming efforts, he was forced to watch a video of Stevie J engaging in sexual activities with another man. However, reports suggest that an unidentified adult male celebrity has claimed to be in the video instead of Stevie J. Jones has more accusations as well. He alleges that Young Miami's female cousin also assaulted him, trying to engage in inappropriate behavior in front of his staff and Diddy. Additionally, Rodney Jones claims that Diddy invited prostitutes to his house and stated that while he was there, he was drugged and possibly taken advantage of.
No, remember, and people got it confused when I said that Ja and him was in the room with two girls, with Sarah and Sarah's girlfriend. You understand? He was trying to get Ja to go at Jay-Z. So what he did was try to get another girl, you understand, to do something with Ja. I guess, I don't know, they in the room together. So when they, in that thing, I know what he was planning on doing because I heard the conversation. I knew what was going on. He was trying to get at Ja, so if he had got Ja in any kind of uncompromising position, he could force Ja to go at Jay-Z. So that's just a thing that they use. He get him in a sexual position and a sexual situation with some kind of girl, and then maybe get him high, get him drunk, or whatever like that. He don't know what he doing. One of the guys step in, and now he doing Lil Rod. Now Lil Rod all messed up in the mind because he started off with a girl, but now he end up with a guy.